Well, let's stay with that story. Newsroom Africa's Linda Mnisi was at the march in Soweto earlier on today. He joins us now live. Linda, what is this voice note that is being referenced by the protesters?
You'll remember, Kathy, last year, just shortly after Tshegofatso's funeral, there was a lot of speculation around what could have happened to her, and her boyfriend's name really, being amongst the people that are alleged to have been involved in this murder. So shortly after Muzigaise Malepane's arrest, what we heard then was this voice note, which really has sparked outrage from the community. At the time, people are saying that, well, especially these activists, they're saying that at the time we couldn't really speak about it, but it was making the rounds. It's been there since last year, making the rounds, where in the voice note what we're hearing is a woman who identifies herself as Ntuthuko Shoba's mother, saying that her son was in fact saved by CCTV footage that is in his complex, also going as far as saying her son has relations with Tshegofatso Pule, but it is also alleged that he is the father. But she goes on to say then that the people that know in the story know that they are fathers. She says she was glad and welcomed the arrest, and now that, the perpetrators are known to Begicele. So that particular voice note really sparked outrage, but you'll remember at the time, really people couldn't speak about it.
It's been incredible to see how this group of women have been consistent in their protest. They have not let up. Of course, we've had significant progress in the case, and yet they continue to stay on the streets, and largely because violence against women has not ended with Tshegofatso Pule.
Yes, in fact, I spoke to Penny Libyan, an activist who's also a media personality today, and she does point out clearly that this is not the first murder. It's not the last one. We're seeing men who have extramarital affairs, committing such murders. She says that it's not the last one. So women have really been consistent in their call for the courts to really set an example, because they're saying that there are many other ways that Tshegofatso Pule's life could have been spared. She shouldn't have died for being pregnant.
How do they feel about how the case has been progressing so far?
At the time, Kathy, you'll remember that it seemed like the case stalled for a very long time when it went on a pre-trial conference. But we understand that work was ongoing behind the scenes. This is where police were able to obtain, what is called a confession from Muzigaise Malepane. But, the recent developments are now making for an interesting case, because speculation has been that Ntuthuko Shoba is involved. So they're welcoming the arrest, but most importantly, they're waiting for the truth, Kathy, and whether or not, he is behind this murder. Some of the women are also quite enraged by the fact that he appeared very confident, during his last court appearance.
What about the Pule family? What do they have to say about all of this? And speak to me about whether or not they've been involved in these protests at all.
Yes, we saw a couple of family members today who were part of, this march. They're saying that it really is heartwarming to them to see that there are still people that remember her story. There are still people that want to see justice for her murder. In fact, just last week, after the sentencing of Muzigaise Malepane, her uncle saying that they're quite emotional. They've always suspected that Ntuthuko Shoba is involved in the murder. It's going as far as saying that, well, one family member even collapsed in court when they heard that, Ntuthuko Shoba was allegedly behind the orchestration of this particular murder. So what you're seeing here is a family that has really been patient with the justice system constantly. Even when there was outrage in court, her uncle would come out and say, let us understand how the law works, calling on the public to be patient and wait for the police and all those who are involved, law enforcement, to do its job.
Linda, I imagine that it wasn't coincidental that they decided to go to the police station. There must have been a good reason why.
Absolutely, Kathy, and what they're saying is that they want to go to the police station, and they didn't tell them on purpose that they would be coming. They want to go to the police station because it is here where it all starts. When women come to police stations, they are turned back. And according to, their experience, what they told us when they entered, one of the leaders, Lebo, in fact, says, when I went in, the captain involved asked me, what are you doing here when this is an old case? This is an old case. So she says, it is for this very same reason that we came here to actually show people that this is the kind of treatment that we get when we come to, report these cases.
All right, well, we're going to leave it there for tonight. Linda Nisi covering that march by the Sisters Keeper movement, and they're continuing to protest over the rate of gender-based violence in this country, but most importantly, marking and raising awareness around the story of Tshegofatso Pule as that particular case continues in the courts.